My name is David Park, and I'm 25 years old. I live in an apartment in Brooklyn, New York. I moved here from California about a year ago for work. I'm a software engineer at a startup in Manhattan. This happened last month. November 3rd, 2024. I'll never forget that date. I had been working late that night and I got home around 11 p.m. I was exhausted. I made myself some instant ramen, ate it while watching YouTube on my laptop, then got ready for bed. My apartment is small, a studio. The bathroom is tiny with barely enough room for a toilet, sink, and shower. There's a medicine cabinet above the sink with a mirror on the front. I was brushing my teeth, staring at myself in the mirror like you do, when I noticed something. In the reflection behind me, I could see my apartment, my bed, my desk, my window. And in the window, I saw a face. Someone was looking in from outside. I spun around. My apartment is on the 4th floor. There's a fire escape outside my window, but no one should be on it. I looked at the window. I didn't see anyone. I walked over to the window and looked out. The fire escape was empty. The street below was quiet. I went back to the bathroom, telling myself I had imagined it. I was tired. My eyes were playing tricks on me. I continued brushing my teeth. I looked in the mirror again. The face was back, this time closer, pressed against the window. A man's face, pale with dark eyes that were staring directly at me through the reflection. I dropped my toothbrush and spun around again. I ran to the window. No one was there. I was starting to panic now. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight, shining it out the window, up and down the fire escape. Nothing. No one. I closed the curtains and locked the window, even though it was already locked. I went back to the bathroom, my heart pounding. I looked in the mirror one more time. The face was gone. I finished getting ready for bed quickly, turning off the bathroom light and practically running to my bed. I pulled the covers over myself and tried to calm down. I was almost asleep when I heard it. Tapping on the window. Tap, tap, tap. I sat up in bed. The curtains were still closed. The tapping continued. Tap, tap, tap. I grabbed my phone and called 911. I whispered to the operator that someone was on my fire escape trying to get in. She said officers were on the way and to stay on the line. The tapping stopped. I waited in my bed, phone pressed to my ear, barely breathing. Then I heard a new sound, scratching, metal on metal. Someone was trying to open the window. I jumped out of bed and ran to my apartment door. I unlocked it and stood in the hallway, ready to run if I heard the window open. The police arrived about 3 minutes later. 2 officers. They went into my apartment while I waited in the hall. They came out a minute later and told me to come look. The window was still locked. The curtains were still closed. But when they opened the curtains, we all saw it. There were handprints on the outside of the window, greasy handprints, and scratches on the window frame where someone had tried to pry it open. The officers went out onto the fire escape and checked the building. They found more handprints on the railing and on the window of the apartment below mine. They told me someone had definitely been on the fire escape. They took photos of the handprints and filed a report. They said they'd increase patrols in the area. But here's the part that I still can't explain. The part that makes me think I'm losing my mind. After the police left, I went to the bathroom to splash water on my face. I looked in the mirror, and I saw him again, the man. But this time, he wasn't at the window. He was standing in my apartment, right behind me, in the reflection. I spun around. No one was there. I looked back at the mirror. He was still there in the reflection, standing behind me, smiling. I screamed and ran out of my apartment. I spent the night at a 24-hour diner down the street. The next morning, I went back with my friend Jason. We searched the entire apartment. We found nothing, no one. But when I looked in the bathroom mirror, I saw him again, still standing behind me in the reflection. Jason couldn't see him. He looked in the mirror and saw nothing unusual, just our reflections. I covered the mirror with a towel. I haven't looked in it since. I'm moving out next week. I found a new apartment in Queens. I'm not taking that mirror with me, but I'm terrified that it doesn't matter. Because last night, I looked in the mirror at work, the bathroom mirror at my office, and he was there, standing behind me, still smiling. I don't think he's in the mirror. I think he's following me, and I don't know how to make him stop.